Then NSH and organizer. Then we'll finally hand over the session to Vikram sir.
Yeah.
So very good afternoon to everyone, participants. So very happy to see that we have been once again gathered for this 2 weeks training program on machine learning. I hope my voice is audible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my presentation is visible, no? My presentation is visible, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So on behalf of NSIC and organizer, we are happy to welcome all the participants throughout the country for this 2 weeks training program on machine learning. So NSIC is basically a central public sector undertaking, which is coming under the Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise, Government of India. Actually, NSIC established in the year 1955 with the main aim to control to main aim is nothing but to aid and counsel and assist the finance, protect and promote the interests of small scale industries in India. Our organizations will be like that. We are having head office which has been located in Delhi, and we are having 9 zonal office, and we are having branch office throughout the country. We are having around 117 branch office across pan India, and we are having 8 technical service center. In that, one among them was in Hyderabad. Like that, we are having other 7 technical service center throughout the country, and one among was in Hyderabad, like Chennai, as well as we are having in Agra, and we are having around 8 technical service center in India. And we are having 2 software technology park. One is at Chennai, one is at Delhi, and we are having 1 foreign office at South Africa. It is our basic organization where NSIC is working. Basically, the classification of MSME is given, so we don't want to go. Now, recently, the Government of India has given revised structure for micro, small, medium enterprise. So the same was given in the PPT. So actually, the purpose of establishing NSIC is to support the small scale industries. As per the rough figure where we are having in given by the Government of India, we are having around 26 million of MSME in India, which employs around 60 millions of people for their operation, for production as well as maintenance, which gives around 45% of industrial production in the country. And in this, we can say that 40% which has been exporting to the other countries. So the MSME is very, very vital part of any of our country. So we are having around more than 8,000 products that has been manufactured by the small scale industries in India. So to protect the small scale industries only, the Government of India established the NSIC, and we have been ensuring that we have been handholding the small scale industries for the growth in terms of technical support, in terms of financial support, as well as we are ensuring that what are the products has been manufactured by the small scale industries. We are showcasing the product in the international market as well as in international exhibitions. Actually, we are having the popular schemes under the NSIC, which we have been offering for growth of small scale industries. The one was a single point registration under the government purchase and the tender marketing and the raw material assistance, we can call the raw material distribution, and exhibition and buyer seller meet, where it is one of the area where NSIC is playing the vital role, where we are taking the products as well as exhibiting the product which has been manufactured by the local MSME in the international exhibition. And what is the beauty of this scheme is nothing but we have been giving the subsidy for their stall arrangement, for traveling expenses, everything will be taken care by the Government of India through NSIC. And we have been offering the informatory service for the small scale industries. So these are the 5 schemes we have been operating for the small scale industries. These are the activities related to commercial, where the around 120 offices in India is taking care of this kind of commercial office in India. And coming to our core electrical part, where electrical department in Hyderabad, where we have been taking care of energy auditing, which has been currently headed by me, and we have been testing the UPS for the small scale industries. And we used to do the energy auditing for the industries. Mainly, we have been focusing on harmonic study. We have been studying the power factor study and lighting study, as well as we have been concentrating on compressor, that is mechanical area, where we have been studying the compressor in terms of free air delivery as well as indicator. These are the activities that have been carried out by our NSIC Technical Service Center, Hyderabad. These activities have been under my control. We have been doing this for last couple of years in Hyderabad. About Harmonizer India Private Limited, we have been happy to announce that we have been collaborating with the technical partner Harmonizer India Private Limited. They are one of the technical pioneers in this kind of conducting training program. And apart from this thing, they are not only in the training program, they have been having the presence in the industrial support. Basically, they have been power quality experts, and they have been emerging different areas in last 1 year. With the main office located, their head office located in Bangalore, and they're having the operation in UAE and Canada. Harmonize is a solution, is a knowledge-based solution where they're providing the fantastic services on solution where some of the people are not able to give the solution to their existing problem industries. And they believe basically they understand the customer and give the customized solution. So the customer is coming out of the problem. And they're having the multi-dimensional experts where they can able to satisfy the customer with the great satisfaction. And they're having 60 years of service, especially experts who have been in their organization having 60 years of experience in the power quality and EMI, what we call it as electromagnetic interference, as well as harmonic audit solution, energy auditing, and the software for power quality. They have been developing the customized power quality software for dealing the real-time problem in that thing. And they have been expertise in the IoTs and machine learning. In this regard only, we have been conducting this kind of programming on machine learning. And so about the CEO of the Harmonizer is Manoj Soni was the CEO. He has been heading this Harmonizer India Private Limited, and he's basically sir is having 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business development. And very happy to announce that the sir has been certified by the GSAS as well as KNEA certified professional. Only few people in the world will be certified with this kind of certification. So the CEO of the Harmonizer having this kind of certification, and he has been worked as a previously sir has been serviced as a VP Vice President for repeated MNC companies, where sir has been taking care of Gulf and African regions, as well as sir has been having shown the excellent leadership and business skill where he developed the company growth from 10% to 80% year of year, and he has been got lot of awards internally from the previous employment. And sir is having a real-time experience in business development marketing as well as sales, top line management, and is having facility in his experience, and he has been started the company Harmonizer. So about the CTO of the company, Mr. Srinivasa, sir is basically power quality experts and having 15 years of experience in power quality domain and 20 years of experience in electrical engineering, and having expertise in machine learning algorithm for electrical network products and system. And one of the few people in India, I think most of people not knowing about the Edison awardee, especially the sir has been awarded the Edison expert in power quality. If you are searching the Google, you may get the sir name, and he's having he filed a few patents related to power quality. It's quite amazing. So it's very great to see that he filed patents in power quality, and he's having the power quality solution design experts, and he has been published many papers in repeated magazines, and he has been writing many research papers in the thing, as well as he has been one of the board member in repeated colleges, named universities, as well as he has been making this contribution for making syllabus for BTech, MTech, and application related to power quality, and having hands-on experience in power quality, especially in our BTech electrical, you might have been studied about load flow calculation, harmonics, as well as greenfield project, customized filter design, as well as low voltage MB design, and harmonic filters. He's having a lot of expertise in power qualities. So I requesting Srinivas sir to talk about few words about the training program as well as his Harmonizer. So good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Muthu. I think Vikram, you were there?
Is there, sir? I'll check up, sir. I'll check up. You can contribute, sir.
No yes, sir. I'm there, sir. Hi, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So Harmonizer is a company formed by technocrats. So we are operations in India, UAE, and Canada, 3 countries as of now, and we are planning to expand in Singapore and Australia as well in coming future. Our objective is to make sure we provide a technology-based solution to our customers that includes machine learning, artificial intelligence for industry applications. So we filed a few patents in machine learning as well. For example, once during the end of this session, this class, so maybe 10th day number 10, we're going to give a demo of a software, energy management software that has a machine learning algorithm. That means this EMS software can detect the problem in the network, industry network, and speak to customer what the problem is and why the problem is coming, and also provide solution automatically. Why we are doing this? The reason is if you look at the industry trend, there is not much core domain expertise are not developed in the market. What is the meaning of core domain? If you look at mechanical, electrical, electronics, the core people are vanishing. The reason is many of them are gone to IT industries for obvious reasons, and because of which industry and building segments, they are really suffering from expertise that we can solve the problem. it is the right time where we convert all the experience what we gain into machine learning or AI algorithms so that customer will get benefit out of it. So this training, we had a beautiful training a few days back for 10 days. On power quality, we had 50 plus participants with a very wonderful training we had. Some of the participants are repeating, I can see a few people here. And also today, my colleague Vikram is PhD doctorate in computer science, and he has filed, I think, more than 5 patents in his name. And he is expert in IoT solutions. He is expert in machine learning algorithms and creating a machine learning platform for many applications, specifically for industry and building applications. And he is the one who's going to take this session for next 10 days. Welcome all of you again. Thank you for joining the session. And I am sure it's going to be a wonderful session for all of you. And we request if any feedback, any questions you have in between, please ask in the same point of time. So I'm sure Vikram and our team will be able to answer the question on time. If something is unanswered, please email us. We'll get back immediately with the answer. Thanks all of you and welcome again. Vikram, over to you.
Thank you, Srinivas sir. Vikram sir.
Thank you, Srinivas sir, and thank you, Muthu sir.
Thank you, Vikram sir. Just a brief about you, then you can take up the session, sir.
Okay, sir.
So I want to introduce expert for the 2 weeks training program. Sir is basically a doctorate in IoT. So Dr. Vikram Nerigatti is basically expertise in IoT, as mentioned by Srinivas sir. Sir is done his PhD in novel security mechanism for detection and prevention of RPL attacks in the Internet of Things based on next generation network. He has completed a doctorate in Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. His research contributions are to provide detection and prevention mechanism for RPL attacks like sinkhole, backhole, wormhole, rank attack, etc. in IoT, as well as using the machine learning and artificial intelligence based approach. He has completed his bachelor degree and master degree in facilitation of computer science and engineering from JNTU Anantapur. He has completed his MS degree from Brainwell University, London, UK. He is a full stack of IoT developer at SmartNets and Go, an IoT company, Tirupati. He is having more than 10 years of teaching experience from various institutions like NIT Goa, Sri Vidyaniketan, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, as well as Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Chittoor. He is having more than 5 years of research experience from NIT Goa, as well as Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. He filed and published 15 patents. So it is very important to say that he has been filed 15 patents, especially in IoT and machine learning. And he has been authored 2 textbooks and published by Wiley and Lampert publication. So he is a very expertise in this IoT and machine learning, because I hope that he is one of the expertise difficult to get is in this real-time scenario. And he has been having a patent in IoT and machine learning, very rare to see. And he has been conducted physically 50 workshops, especially in the areas of IoT and machine learning. And he has been published in 35 plus national and international conferences and journals that has been interviewed with the Scopus as well as SEI. He attended various workshops and other training programs, particularly in IoT and machine learning. He has got six best research works as well as award from Government of India, and he has been recently awarded from the Government of India, like Dr. Ambedkar Research Fellowship Award, as well as Gautam Buddha Award has been given to Mr. Dr. Vikram Nerigatti. And his research areas are basically on IoT, that is Internet of Things, fog computing, cloud computing, and he acted as a research person for more than 50 workshops as well as training programs, especially in the domain of machine learning, IoT, and fog computing in various institutions like IIIT Ongole, IIIT Idipuli, Sri Venkateswara University, Sri Padmavati Vishwa Vidyalaya Tirupati, and Sri Vidyaniketan College of Engineering, and Mallareddy College of Engineering, and lot of colleges has been contributed his research work as well as conducted training program where he enlightened a lot of participants. So with this short introduction, I was welcoming Dr. Vikram Nerigatti sir for this 2 weeks training program. He is going to be the research person as well as subject expert for this 2 weeks training program. Sir, we welcome you, sir, on behalf of NSIC and the organizer. We are welcoming for this 2 weeks training program, sir. So very happy to have you in this training program, sir. Thank you for allocating your time for this 2 weeks training program. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Muthu sir and Srinivas sir. Well, hi to all. Is my screen and voice audible to you? Any one of you, please respond.
Muthu, I think you have to unshare.
I'll do.
I request all of the participants to
But-
pin my screen.
Yeah, we can see.
You need to pin my you can listen my voice and you can see PPT, right?
Yeah, we can see and we can listen also. Yeah.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you, sir. Well, once again, a very good afternoon to all, and welcome to a 2 weeks online live industrial training on hands-on machine learning program. Day 1. Today we just going to see introduction to machine learning. The content that which I would like to plan in this course is, I request all the participants to mute, please. Mute yourself, please. This is the content that I would like to deliver in this session. You can able to see on the screen, right?
Yeah, Vikram, we are able to see. Muthu, I think you have to go for mute. Muthu, you have to mute. Vikram, you go ahead. I'll ask you to mute. Go ahead.
Okay. So before giving the definition of an IoT, what is an IoT? I want you all to be very active and attentive. You can see on the screen some sentence or a phrase. I love you all. I hope everybody know the meaning of this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And you can know here what does this mean. This is the text. I hope everybody know that the meaning of this, and they may know that this is a text. And after seeing this image, you know that he is Abhishek and she is Aishwarya. By seeing the image, you easily can detect that this is an image of consists of hero, actress, and the actor. Similarly, if you go for this, you can say that
Are you ready for the data revolution?
some audio is
Are you
playing
ready
here.
for the Do you have the skills needed to stay ahead? Do you have the skills needed to stay ahead? More people than ever. More people than ever are.
So you know that this is some audio song. And if you go for this, easily you can see that this is some video song with audio combination of this is working. Why I'm showing this all things means, as we are human being, as we already got trained, this is a text data, and this is the image data, this is the audio data, this is the video data. Like that, we already trained. Because of training, we are easily recognizing who is this and what is this and etc. In the same way, machine learning is a set of AI. As we already having the natural intelligence, by both we have some intelligence. Intelligence means we have a process of taking some input, processing and output. Similarly, AI means human-made intelligence. So man-made intelligence or the natural intelligence. By both we will get the intelligence. That is the nature-made. Artificially we are making the intelligent. To whom? For the system. That is called the artificial intelligence. So in the process of making the artificial intelligence, machine learning plays one of the role. That's why many experts and many companies used to say that machine learning is a subset of AI. So machine learning will helpful to develop the AI, artificial intelligence. So what actually the ML, machine learning? The machine learning is a process. Process of what? Process of training a part or a piece of software. which is called as a model. So to whom it is training? It is training for a mission. That is very, very important. That's why we call as mission learning. Mission should learn itself without the explicit code of the human being. Automatically the mission should learn itself. That is the mission learning process. So here, what is the job of human being means? We need to train a piece of or a part of software that is called as a model. So machine learning is a process of training a part or a piece of software. So why we need to train? To make useful predictions. The system should automatically predict some useful things for the human being. So how it will predict? It will predict with data. It is a very, very, very important. Without data, human can't do anything. Similarly, machine also can't do anything. Machine can do something only if we have some data. If we have the sufficient data or some data, then only we can make some useful predictions. Similarly, machine as well can do some useful predictions if there is available data in the machine to particular problem or a particular solution. So data is very, very important. That's why we're gonna see about what is data and types of data, where we will get data and how to use the data, etc. in coming sessions. So data is very, very important. So machine will make useful predictions. What kind of predictions? The predictions that which previously we never seen. Such kind of predictions will do by the machine. That is the beauty of the machine learning. Previously we can't able to see with our eyes or with the machines. The time whenever we apply some machine learning algorithm, then only we can see the predictions, unseen predictions. So if we get some predictions, what we can do? We can take some appropriate decisions or actions. So this is the process of machine learning. Training to the machine will predict something. So with the predictions, humans can take actions and decisions. So let me say some example. As I said previously, some text, some image, audio, video. Nowadays, with text, what we can predict? Some of the machines are already having with the dictionary enabled. Whenever you talk something, it automatically records. Once it records, it provides the sentiment analysis of the text, whether it's a neutral, whether it's a positive, whether it's a negative. That is the sentiment analysis, one of the concept. Nowadays, it's a major research topic. Sentiment analysis. So if you enter some text or a paragraph or a book, we can say that that text may be a positive or negative or neutral. This is the predictions done by whom? By the machine learning. Text. Even image. In hospital, let me say in example, hospital. By taking some radiographic image, machine learning algorithm will predict what kind of disease it was. In audio, who is singing? Who is the singer? In video, who are the actors are acting? Like that, the machine learning algorithm will predict automatically, irrespective of the data. Not only for the text or image or audio or video, for any kind of data, the AI algorithm will, or machine learning algorithm will predict the useful data. That's why we need to go for the machine learning. Now we go for learning. What is learning? According to the Oxford Dictionary, learning is the acquisition of knowledge or skills. How? Through study or through experience or being taught. So AI is one type of expert system through experience. So machine learning algorithms will work based upon what? Experience, expert systems. So in the training, whatever the experience gained by some expert, he will train the system based upon his experiences. So that's why learning is we can learn with the help of studying, or we can learn with the help of our experiences, or being taught by others. That's why we attend some training programs, some video lectures, etc., etc. This all are the steps to learn ourselves. Similarly, system also should learn. System also may learn with help of study, or with help of an experience, or with help of other thing. So based upon that, we have the 3 types of learning strategies. What are there means? Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. This is the learning strategies. How we can learn means training. We are training the system with the help of an algorithm. The training may call as a model. So with the experience, we will design some model. By studying, we will design some model. So with the help of that model, we will provide training. So that the system will get trained. Once the system will get trained, automatically it will start predicting the useful data. So this is the learning strategies. Now we go for the supervised learning. Can any one of you participant can respond? How many types of learning strategies are there?
3 types of learning on this.
Yes. What are they?
Supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning.
Thank you, madam. Well, so now we're gonna see about supervised. So what is a supervised learning? Supervised learning is a type of machine learning where the model is provided with labeled training data. This is very, very important. We need to remember this point. Labeled data was already provided. Such type of learning is called supervised learning. Let me clarify. Yes, no. What is the labels means? Yes is a label. No. Are you listening my voice? Yes. When the no will come, if you can't listen to my voice, you will say no. If you are listening means yes. So listening, not listening are the parameters, features. Yes and no are the labels. So in the supervised data, already we are providing for the computer in the training itself labels like yes, no, true or false. Is every participant seeing the screen? Yes. Like that, we can able to do it out. So what will be here? It consists of some features and the labels. In the supervised learning consists of features, labels. What are the features? Features are the measurements or the descriptions. Measurements on the description is called as features. What we call as label? Label is the answer. What we're looking for. So what is the goal of supervised learning? Is to find the answer. How it will find the answer? By using the features. Let me say one example. Issue of certificate. So as we are attending some training session, NSIC, in the collaboration of Harmonizer, when we will get the certificate? We may have around 30 participants. So what will be the labels here? Issue of certificate. Second label may be not issue of certificate. These labels are already given. Here the problem is issuing the certificate. Labels are issue the certificate or not issue the certificate. The system should automatically say that for this product, for this participant, X participant or Y participant, issue the certificate. For Z, for AB, not issue the certificate. How the machine will say based upon the measurements or the descriptions or the features. What are there? You need to attend all the days. You need to submit some feedback, some X criteria, Y criteria. If A student has this all criteria, this all features, then issue the certificate. If the student doesn't meet this all criteria, not issue the certificate. This is a supervised learning. So days, feedback, and listening, other listening, assignment submission, etc., examination attending, marks, grade system, these all are the features. And labels are issue and not issue. So it will find the relationship between the features, and based on the relationships, we can say that issuing or not issuing. This is a supervised learning. Let me say one of the example which was seen by Google Colab. This is a botanical data. In this example, this is the label. These two are the features. Based upon these two features, here we have the two labels, small leaf, big leaf. So by seeing the width of a leaf and length of a leaf, they are saying the species. What is that? Small leaf or big leaf. The session today, our objective is to clear about learning strategies, how we can learn. That's our agenda. So now we are in the supervised learning. So we are in the one of second example. If you see, this is a graph which clearly you can see that blue one represents the big leaf variety and small one represents the small leaf variety. Based upon what? Based upon the previous data. So we need to design an algorithm. So algorithm require what? What are the labels? These two are
Excuse me, Vikram. Vikram,
Yes.
are you showing any presentation?
Yes. In the starting itself, I said to you that pin my screen. Pin. You go to my participant, pin it out.
Yeah, I'm trying it up, pinning it is not showing anything. Only your picture is keep on.
Yes, sir. It is not showing, sir.
No, already showing, sir. Kindly pin it, sir. Kindly pin it. You can able to see the screen.
Yeah,
No,
that's what
sir,
I
but
pin it.
it's not showing, sir.
It's not showing actually.
No, for us we are able to see, sir, because I am also seeing the screen. Just
See,
give
So
me-
we are
go
not
to
showing.
go to my participant place and they will have a pin icon. You pin it out. Then only you can see. Otherwise you can't.
pin on the presentation. That is the pin on your name that we can able to get it.
Those who can't able to see the presentation, please pin it.
I can't.
Vikram sir, 2 minutes, sir. 2 minutes. Let them separate.
Yeah. See, you have to go to the right side of the people list. There you have to go and pin it actually.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the right hand side, there is a meeting details, a list of the people. There you have to go and select Vikram, and then there you have to pin it. Then it is showing actually.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct. What you're saying is correct. Absolutely correct.
Thank you. Go.
Vikram sir.
Yes.
You'll be
Is
sharing the
everybody
presentation?
seeing the
So you will
screen?
be sharing this presentation to the mail.
No, we are sharing the recorded video for the day, sir. Presentation will be shared at the end of the day, end of the training program. As of now, we'll be sharing the video, sir. Recorded video.
Might be presentation will be good actually. So review before coming to the next class.
No, okay. We'll check up, sir, the thing option.
We will try. We'll try.
We'll-
Thank you. Go ahead.
Vikram sir.
Thank you.
We can proceed, sir. Vikram sir.
Okay. So now we are in the supervised learning. If you see on the screen, we have a graph. The graph consists of two labels. One label is big leaf variety. Another label is small leaf variety. Big leaf variety will represent in the blue color and small leaf variety represent in the red color. Now we design some algorithm. So algorithm require what? Labels or features. So we have a labels, we have the features as well. As I shown previously, these are the features, these are the labels. So based upon the labels and features, once we supply the data to the algorithm, automatically the algorithm should extract the features, and based upon the features, it should say what label the particular features belongs to based upon this. So based upon these two features, this is saying that the label will be a small leaf. So based upon these two features, it's saying that small leaf. Like that, we need to design an algorithm. So to design an algorithm, we are using a Python. So in next sessions as well, we are learning about a Python. What is data? We're going to see. Once we clear with data, we need to know how to use the data and how to frame an algorithm. And the language which we are using is a Python. We will see this session also in the next day sessions. Okay, so with the help of a labels and features, we will train a system. So during training, what the algorithm will do means it find the relationship among the features and the class label. So based upon the relationship between the class and the features, it will predict the what label it is. That is called as a relationship between the label and the features. That relationship is called model. Like this, we will develop a lot of models based upon the features and the labels. That may be based upon the experience, or that may be based upon the studying, etc., etc. If you see here, what will be the model means this pattern. The model may also called as pattern. So this line represents a model. This model will segregate what is the label A or what is the label B. So this is about the supervised learning. So what we are doing in the supervised learning means we are finding the patterns. Patterns where between data and the labels. Between data and labels, we will find the patterns. So how we can express that one? We can express that in a mathematically as a functions. That's why we need to learn algebra, statistics, probability, etc. to do the machine learning and AI algorithms. So we will develop a mathematical models. That is very, very important. The same mathematical models we will implement in a Python. Already the Python has very good libraries. Depending upon our requirement, we can use the library. So if you want to become an expert of AI or machine learning, 100% you should be very strong in the mathematical, probabilities, statistics, algebra, etc. And then Python programming language. That's the supervised learning. Here what we're doing means we're doing the input features and telling the system based upon the features what label we are expecting. That's the supervised training. Here clearly the labels are given based upon the label data. So the machine learning system will use what? Patterns. As I said, models to make the predictions. Based upon the predictions, we can take decisions. So up to now, we have any questions, clarifications?
Vikram sir, sorry for interrupting, sir. Vikram sir.
Yes, yes.
Actually, some people kept message saying that they are unable to listen your voice clearly. So, I think you can confirm with the participants, sir. The dear person can able to hear the voice of Vikram, sir. Can you confirm it? Can you confirm in the chat box? Okay. Nazim, okay. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, I could be able to hear clearly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second learning technique, unsupervised learning. This is a very, very big task for the mission because there is no labels. Randomly, some products will be there. But we don't know what products they are. But we don't know what are the labels. But based upon the features, we need to find what are there. Whether it belongs to X or Y. Whether there are male gender or female gender, etc., etc. Based upon the features, we need to find the labels. That is the goal of the unsupervised learning. That should be meaningful. See, for example, this word has some meaning, but this may has no meaning. Similarly, we may extract many patterns, but the pattern should be meaningful and useful for the customers or useful for the users. Then only they can take decisions. That's why very, very important that in unsupervised learning, if you extracting some model or if you extracting some patterns means that should be meaningful and useful for the users. There is a big task in unsupervised learning. Simply remember that supervised means labels are there. Features, based upon the features, we will know, we will identify the label. Simple. Based upon the features, we will identify the label. In unsupervised, no labels at all. But each and every product or each and every customer or each and everything may have some features. Based upon that features, we need to identify the label. We need to categorize the thing. So symptoms of typhoid, symptoms of dengue, symptoms of etc. How? Based upon some features, similar features, we need to go for labels. Typhoid, these features like that. So how it will identify means, as I said, from the unlabeled data set based upon the features. In other words, we can say that in unsupervised learning, the model has no hints how to categorize each piece of data, but it must infer its own rules that may be based upon the experience or based upon the features or based upon what it should do itself. Machine should do itself. That is the unsupervised learning. If you see the graph on the screen, all the samples become to 1. The shapes, the color, everything are same. Whereas in the previous, we have 2 labels. It's very clear. This represent one label and this represent one label. So easily we can categorize. This belongs to this and this belongs to that. Whereas here all belongs to one. But how we can categorize? That is the task in the unsupervised learning. If you just draw some modern, the graph below belongs to A and above belongs to B, this has no meaning. We can't say straight away, this belongs to A and this belongs to B randomly. We should have proof, evidence-based, that we say evidence-based research, evidence-based thing we need to say it out. Without evidence, we should not say anything. So, yeah, otherwise, if you do some clusters, this belongs to cluster A or this belongs to cluster B, this also blindly you can't say. Then how we can say? If you see here, if you say that I'm dividing that into the clusters means, you check the feature of each and every product or each and every customer. So customer 1 feature is this, customer 2 feature is this, customer 3, customer 4, like that. These all are customers. These all customers may require a product Z. These all customers may require a product B. Then we can say that this is one cluster which require a product Z. This is one cluster which require a product B. Like that, if some X says a mobile phone, we take survey. So based upon the survey, we will get samples, huge number of data. What is a survey means? We can create a Google form or SurveyMonkey, etc., etc. Even recently in lockdown period, we have done survey first to know the individual behavior, how the individual behavior is there in the corona time. Like that, to create data, we require some questions, sample questions. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, 5. So based upon these questions, we can say that among 5,000 people, PUPLE, or among 5,000 customers, 1,000 customers are in home, 1,000 customers are only coming 1 hour outside. Remaining 3,000 customers are more than 3 hours there in the home. Remaining time are in the outside the home. Like that, by taking the surveys or by taking the features of individual thing, like that we can do some clusters. So clustering is one of the technology one of the method for unsupervised learning. How the clustering plays a role means by identifying the future of each and every customer separately, individually. First, we will go for customer 1. We will extract the features of customer 1, 2, 3, 4, all 10. Then we go for the customer 2. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Then we go for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Here we will find some similar features. In each and every customer, we will find some similar features. Ultimately, what model will do? If 70% of customers has same features, they belongs to A. Remaining 30 people of customers belongs to B. Like this, we can able to find the labels in the unsupervised learning based upon the features or requirements, etc. In this manner, we need to train an algorithm. So unsupervised learning means there won't be any labels. So it's very difficult task. Framing an algorithm also very difficult. Required most of the learning. Require most of the cycles as well. Why cycles means? First we will try for the among, we may take 10 features. Among 10 features, we will go in the first cycle. We notice that only 20% of people meeting the requirements 1 to 5. So in second cycle, what we will do? We will increase the features 1 to 7. Then we will check that some percentage may be like 40. Then in third cycle, what we will do? Again, we will take 1 to 9. Then we may feel that 90% of coming under that. So remaining 10 people belongs to what? This is our interesting pattern now. Like this, we will go for the plenty of cycles as well while training an algorithm to the system. So whenever we will get the accuracy, then only we will conclude that the algorithm which was designed by us or designed by me is accurate, this much of percent, after going for 4 or 5 or 6 cycles. And how much size of data? The size of data may say in terms of how many tuples and how many records. Based upon the size of data, we will say that previously how much is the size of the data? In my exam, the size of data is 5,000 people has answered to my questionnaire. After taking the 5,000 people questionnaire, I can conclude that this is this. So this thing should be evidentially, and based upon that, we can say how many labels and etc. etc. So this is the thing. So like clustering, we have many other supervised, unsupervised learning strategies as well. Similarly, like previously, we have discussed the classification, supervised learning, we have regression, etc. etc. as well. So for now, we need to understand the clearing, the learning techniques. So supervised, now unsupervised. Up to now, you have any questions, clarifications, you can ask me now. Regarding unsupervised machine learning.
Vikram, something in the chat box, you can see chat box also.
Yes, sir. Is regression analysis a type of unsupervised? No, it's a supervised learning. Regression will say the relationship between X factor to Y factor. It's a supervised learning. Is there any minimum data required for supervised learning? Yes, we require the features of each and everybody. If we don't have features and labels, it will not come under supervised learning. In supervised learning, it is very, very clear that there should be features and labels. And then, is it similar to statistical modeling? Yeah, we require a statistical probability, everything. As I said, we require the mathematical knowledge 100%. Without mathematical knowledge, we can't do AI or machine learning algorithms. Do we need advanced mathematics? Means depending upon our requirement. See, advanced mathematics in the sense, we require algebra, matrices. Already the Google will work with the help of the matrices, eigenvalue and eigenvectors. So we will say the advancement based upon the customer requirement. See, if today I feel to have chapati 2 means I will have 2. Tomorrow I may tired and I may feel to have 10 chapatis or 5 or 6 chapati means at that time I need to, my mom or my wife need to cook that much. So depending upon requirement, we need to learn. We can't say like that. Sometimes we require advanced, sometimes we require a basic, sometimes we require a moderate. That is entirely depending upon the way the customer problem and the way we work. That's the answer for advanced mathematics. Whatever we do, that depending upon our requirement. Yes, sir. Any other questions you can leave in chat box. I will take after finishing this one. Next we go for reinforcement learning. This is a major research gap, major research area. We can say that those who really want to pursue a research in the machine learning means I recommend to go for reinforcement. Why we can go? I suggesting to go for reinforcement learning means for now, the state of art, the literature says that reinforcement learning is not showing that much of results compared with supervised and unsupervised learning. So we need to do more research on this reinforcement learning. Here we don't go with features or some labels. This reinforcement technique is different compared with supervised and unsupervised. Here the technique will based upon the agent and the reward. For example, the X person will play the temple run. While playing the temple run, what he gets some coins. The coins are the rewards. Similarly, employee will work for any institution or for any organization. What he will do? If he work hard, they will get some bonuses. If you do overtime, they will pay some extra money. These all are the reinforcement. So in the reinforcement, the data will be less, but we try to find the data as well. How? By providing the rewards. The same, whenever in my mind come to the reinforcement term comes, I think that investigation of the flag X and X. They used to say that, can you give this information? I will say this. If you say this one means I will give this much, etc., etc. So human mentality as well will be like that, expecting some rewards from higher authorities, rewards from colleagues, rewards from wife, rewards from children, rewards from spouse, etc., etc. So this is a reinforcement learning means, if you do this work, I will give this. So if you come early in the morning, if you work extra hours, we will pay more salary. If you do 10 products, if you sell 10 products, I pay 100 rupees incentive. If you sell in a day 20 products, then I will use 200 per thing. So these are the rewards. So where we can able to get more thing. Similarly, the machine as well need to do these things, reinforcement learning. So in such a way, we need to train the algorithm. So the best thing is the games. The games, whenever we play or whenever our kids or etc. will play, their mandatory it will be have some rewards. So similarly, this can be done in the real time as well. In future sessions, we will discuss about that. In our day plan as well, I plan in a way that classification, regression, and then some reinforcement technique is there. Then at the end, we have some case studies. We will see one by one. If you get all these techniques, implementation part, how to take the data, how to work with the Python, how to implement this algorithm, this is enough to get very good job. With this will be a direction for you. How really we need to take the data, how really we need to write the algorithm, how we can implement the real-time problem, how we can get a solution for that problem. This will be a direction for you after completion of this workshop. So this is about the learning techniques, supervised or unsupervised or reinforcement learning. The implementation part algorithm we will see in future classes. So this as well one of the content which I take from the Google. Machine learning problems, it will understand very simply. Classification means picking one among n label. So when we can say this animal is a dog or dog, cat, horse, like this. And regression, clustering, association rule mining, structured output, ranking. These are some of the problems. So these problems we need to find some solutions. So association rule mining, it's coming from data mining onwards. These all we can improvise. So clustering and these two comes under the unsupervised category. Remaining all will be supervised category. So like this, we can able to find the problems. The problems will be like this. This may be a classification problem or regression problem or clustering or what is the problem. Depending upon the situation, we need to identify it out, and based upon that, we need to apply the perfect algorithm. If it is a classification, we need to apply some supervising algorithm. Sometimes there may be a case that where we need to apply some reinforcement. With the help of the reinforcement, we will ask the data from, we'll collect the data. With the reinforcement technique, what we will do most of the thing means, we will collect the data from the customer. If you say this data, I will give this. So once I get data, what I will do, then I will apply some supervised learning algorithm or unsupervised learning algorithm. Sometimes we need to use the hybrid kind of thing. It's not mandatory that to solve a single problem, we require only supervised or only unsupervised or only reinforcement. Sometimes we have a hybrid kind of approach as well. So if we go for the real-time customer pain points or real-time case studies, we come to know that in this problem, what kind of technique we need to apply, and etc. So if once you clear with the what is supervised and unsupervised and reinforcement, means easily we can identify which technique where we need to use it out. This is the objective actually today's class. And in machine learning, we have applications almost in each and every domain, not in one domain. Even in power quality as well, we have machine learning. In software, I mean electrical, electronics, automobile industry, agriculture, everywhere. In future world, already Gartner, you can see Gartner. I forgot to put that slide. If you see the Gartner hype cycle means, Gartner is a guy who will predict the technologies. After 5 years, what is the technology will be there? After 20 years, after 30 years, what will technology will be there? Means Gartner already predicted that coming next 30 to 50 years, AI and machine learning will play a crucial role. Everybody, irrespective of department, irrespective of study, everybody should come into the AI and machine learning and deep learning algorithms. Why means applications are in everywhere, all the domain. So image recognition, speech recognition, as I said, image. With this, we have done one patent, attendance monitoring system. That may be for employer or for students. We will take, with the help of a camera, we will take the images. So then with the help of a technology, deep face, we have a deep face library in the Python. With that, what we can do means, we can recognize who he is or who she is. Based upon that, we can say the time, in time and out time. There's the image recognition, speech recognition. If I'm speaking, if again I speak means, with speech recognition as well, we have done one patent. Cyber stalking. Cyber stalking means some X person assume that may be boy, Y person assume that it may be a girl. He is calling from mobile 1, then mobile 2, mobile like that. He is calling from irrespective of different SIM numbers to same goal. He is harassing the girl. Based upon the speech recognition algorithms, based upon the voice modulation, we can say that the same guy is calling from 1 to 10 mobiles. Like that, this is the cyber stalking. We can reduce the cyber stalking with the help of speech recognition. Traffic prediction, we can predict based upon the experience. Product recommendation, individual. Nowadays, the products are what? Generalized. Futurely, the product recommendation will be individual. Hey, Vikram, every day you used to purchase this. So for you, today, exclusively, I am giving 50% discount. Like that, the future recommendation will be there. Silpa, every day you used to purchase this. So for today, if you purchase this, I will give this. So individual product recommendation will come in future. For now, we have only generalized to everybody. Self-driving cars, autonomous vehicles, email spam, already is spam and malware, already is happening. Virtual personal assistants, Google, Siri, etc. Online fraud detection, cyber security. So even in almost other countries, we can detect based upon the check or based upon the transactions easily what is what. And challenges. As we have more applications, simultaneously we have more challenges as well. Memory networks. So memory augmented neural networks will require a large, because we need to store data. As after IoT, with help of an IoT, we connecting each and everything. Terabytes of data are coming to the cloud or fog. So how we can analyze the data? We need to use some machine learning or data science algorithms. So we require large storing capacities and analyzing things. Natural language processing. In India, it's very thing. Not in India, abroad as well. Different languages. Siri should work with other than English, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Gujarati, Malayalam, Oriya, etc. Attention, understanding the deepness training, on-shot, reinforcement already, as I said, it's very important. Semantic segmentations, video training data. As I said, this one of my friend in IIT, he has done a very good project. He just put one camera. So in front of his house, but his house has 3 roads like this. This camera will record for 3 days. 3 days means almost 60 to 70 hours. Then this 60 to 70 hours, whole video will come to half an hour. Nothing was missed. How it is coming from 60 to 70 hours to 30 minutes means based upon interesting patterns. Whenever the car or object is moving, at the time only the camera is recording. And after processing it out, the image is processing here. I mean, video is processing. Whenever the presence of the human, that only extracting. And the video saying that how many red color cars are going. First it says that how many cars, how many buses, how many lorries, and etc. Then it says that how many red color cars, blue color, etc. How many buses. Like this, the video training has done already, and he got patented as well. And he got award as well, degree award. So these are some challenges with the help of an machine learning. So we should clearly understand the concepts. Practical thinking is very important instead of theoretical thinking. So we need to, after listening our training sessions, you need to do the practicals for sure. We need to take simple algorithm and we need to take simple data. You apply some classification algorithm or you apply some regression algorithm. You see the interesting patterns, what is happening. That will help us to reach in good career, etc. So I hope you clear with what is learning and why and how, and supervised learnings and some problems and applications and challenges. So up to now we have any questions you can ask me. I would like to thank for Harmonizer, NSC and Google organization, and where I have collected the slides from the Google.
Some questions on the chat box.
Yes. From, I hope, Mr. Guru Prasad, can the application of ML be applied to? Yes. Structural health means in IoT as well, we have many sensors in the structural health. The structural health, what it will do means we have the constructions of the bridges and the dams. So by putting some sensor, we can predict the lifetime of particular bridge or dam or building, etc. So with that sensor, what we doing? We collecting the data from the sensor. So after collecting the data from the sensor, we need to analyze it out. How we can analyze? That is with the help of machine learning. So,
Mr. Guru, for example, we filed one patent on AI-based energy management system, in which we want to have sensors. On example, let's say you have a HVAC application. We have motor inside the HVAC. We're going to put some sensors on the motors and many parts of the motors, and the data will come to the software, and the machine learning will analyze. Is the motor healthy? Is the motor is made damage? What are the conditions of motor? So it can tell you exactly how many years the motor will come. Okay, that can be done. Similar thing can be done in civil also, where we can, as Vikram rightly said, with a lot of sensor, we'll acquire data from the field, from the structure, from the beams, columns, and wherever you want. And based on your experience, example, if you're a civil expert, architecture expert, based on your experience, you'll convert this expertise to ML algorithm. That's how it works. Vikram?
Yes, thank you, Srini sir. That's how once we get the data from the sensors, there the data is available from the sensors. So how we can analyze the data? We require some expert system. So the expert system will give some model. So based upon the model, we can able to predict the useful information. That's the use of the structural health. And product recommendation quality. Yes. Please go ahead.
Mr. Guru, you're right. Basically, it's all requires expert algorithm. Algorithm will convert to you're expert, right? We have to convert this to proper algorithm in the machine learning technology and add data, and with your expert system algorithm, then you'll get output. That's how it is. Vikram, what you?
Yes, we can predict the lifetime of beams, columns, structural, everything. That's how we will share the experience. Okay, and then coming to other question. Anything else, Guru? Mr. Guru, you can please post. One more question is product recommendation. Can ML be used to identify the quality of products? My question is yes. How I can say yes means when we can say particular product is quality, compulsory we have some features. So based upon the features, we have some values. For example, if you take some chocolate may has X, Y, Z. So what is the composition of X, composition of Y, composition of Z? They are the features. So based upon the features, easily we can able to predict the quality of thing as well. Similarly, we working on one that organic and inorganic, something like that. When we can say organic and when we can say inorganic, same thing like that we can say. And one more, that's the answer for where's the question. And one more thing is, can we apply reinforcement learning to predict software fault? See, for any solution, any problem, you can apply supervised or unsupervised or reinforcement. That is dependent upon the way you algorithm, the way we develop a model. If you say that for software fault, so you should clearly understand the fault. You may have some experience. So based upon the experience, you can do the model. So based upon the model, automatically the system can able to work. That's it. Here I never say that solution will be only supervised or solution will be only unsupervised or solution will be only reinforcement. That is a model. That may be any form of learning. That's the answer for Deepak. For example, if the data from the non-destructive testing is got, we tend to assess the quality of structural materials. That basis, I did ask the question on quality of products. Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, we can do. If we have some data and if we have some expert system, expertise, the guy or the person or a machine expert, easily we can develop some model and we can do things. We need to think it out. We should be very clear about what's the problem and solution. We can frame it out. Can machine learning used to production, maintenance, purchase and finance? Yes. Already few of the things I covered in the applications as well. Let me say maintenance, for example, you purchase a car. For the car, you need to do some service. Already in your system, based upon some sensors, you will get some symbol. So how that symbol will get some sensors? Even from the vendor as well, the person who sell a car or a vehicle to you, he has whole data. He has the behavior of you as well nowadays. So based upon that, whenever the engine or the machine will get failure means, he will come in front of you. Before getting failure itself, he will come and stop the car, wherever may be. And he will say that within half an hour or within 1 hour, the engine may get fail. Because of this is the error. Like that we can do it out. You can say a mission expert is required for analysis of the data. Can people from other engineering domain other than computer science develop? Yes, actually expert means there should be expert system. That will be any other domain. Srini sir, you want to add any point? Please, you can add, sir.
Yeah, machine learning expert is required. Sir, it's simple. Machine learning requires two different activities. One is the coding, the software coding, that the computer software guy can do. Second, the expert who can give input to the software guy. For example, let's say if you want to convert any, if you don't have any machine learning algorithm for medical science, only software guy cannot do coding, right? A doctor should be there to give input for medical science. So machine learning is nothing but if you go 15 years back, we used to call us expert system. Okay, expert system means now it's renamed as machine learning. Yeah, what you're saying is right. Domain expert, whatever the experience domain expert is having in his brain will convert this to machine learning or AI. That is called expert system or machine learning.
For example, I belongs to computer science and engineering background. I don't know anything about the medical data. Some ex-person may have some symptoms. I can't prescribe the medicine to him because I don't know about the medical data. If the doctor is there, he can prescribe the medicine immediately. So here what? Medical doctor is an expert. I am here the code. So based upon the inputs of the doctor and based upon the symptoms of the patient, I can code it out. This is the symptoms, this is the prescription. So I can code it out by taking the input from the doctor and by taking the input from the patients. I can code. So that will become some model. So this is how we need to work collaboratively together. Now there is no branches like EEE, CSE, EC, etc., etc. Nowadays already IoT is there, AI is there, machine learning is there. Well, we work collaboratively for all the applications. That's the thing. So definitely there is a analyze the require domain and etc. Could automation linked with machine learning? See, automation means IoT is purely automation. Automation in the sense without intervention of human being. There is no any presence of the human being. For example, not presence, intervention. For example, I may enter into the room. I will not switch on or switch off the light or fan. Once I step into my home, automatically the light will get on. Once the water tank on top of my home get full, the motor will get off. Once the tank will get low, automatically the motor will get on. So these all are working based upon some sensor data, sensors. That is the automation. So could automation linked with machine learning means if we have some expert system, by taking the expert information, we can do some applications. Yes, we can link some automation as well with the help of machine learning. Let me say one example. Recently, I discussed with other Srinivas sir as well regarding this one. That's regarding to the electrical. If we have 3 or 4 wires means, simple I'm saying, we have 2, 3, 4 wires. Let me say I have 3 wires, wire 1, wire 2, wire 3. Now the electricity is flowing from this wire in wire 1. Continuously till 1 hour, this wire 1 is flowing electricity. This may get heated up. Automatically, the electricity will stop flowing here and will start flowing from wire 2. Then after 1 hour, this will get off and this will get on. Like this, automatically we can switch the wires based upon the requirements. This is some type of automation. So based upon this, we can have some EMS software as well. At the end of the session, as Srinivas sir said, the machine learning and AI EMS software will be shown to you, demonstrated to you. Next, Industry IOML is part of Industrial 4.0. Can we use ML to power generation, transmission? Yeah, power generation, for example, right now I said in the form of wires, right? If you use some solar panels, so we can switch from one solar panel to other solar panel. We can use it out.
Ramesh ji, can we use machine learning to power generation termination? Yes, we are already using it. The software that we filed the patent. We'll give a demo on the last day of this session.
Is Python the base programming language for machine learning? Are there any specific software for machine learning? Yes, Python is a basic. Why means in Python already many libraries are there and everybody is using the Python itself. Most of the libraries are there. We can use it out. And for software, you can use Google Colab or at the time of discussing about the Python, I will show about the software, Anaconda and Spider, etc. In future session, we will discuss about this question.
Okay, Vikram, Muthu, you're there?
Any other questions as well? Please feel free to mail or you can send to Muthu sir as well, Srinivas sir as well. We can discuss in next sessions.
Yeah. Muthu, you're there?
Hello.
Yeah, Muthu.
Okay, sir. Today's sessions went very well. So tomorrow we'll same time we'll continue on, sir. Vikram, sir.
Yes.
So tomorrow, they have to download any software, sir? Any app they have to download?
Not required. While I'm saying, I will direct them how to download it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the right
Thank you for participating. Thank you, Vikram. Amazing. Thank you for your passion.
Thank you, Srinivas sir. Thank you for giving valuable input during the session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for all participants as well. See you tomorrow to all.
Bye.